Hi, I'm Olivia, dietitian at the MLK Health Center and Pharmacy, and today we'll be making turkey tacos with a kale apple slaw, an easy meal that would be great to pack for a lunch. Let's get started. So the first thing we're gonna be making for our turkey tacos is actually our veggie side. So traditionally with tacos, there's not a whole lot of vegetables. You maybe have some lettuce, maybe some tomato, you have your salsa, but it's predominantly pretty heavy in carbs. We have our tortilla, maybe we have some chips, some rice and beans, and not that any of those things are bad, but altogether that's a pretty carb heavy meal. And so this is something that we can make. We are going to be making a kale apple slaw, and this is something it's going to make several servings, and it's going to keep pretty well in the fridge, so you can make it earlier in the week and have it to eat on with your taco meal or a different meal if you want. To have just some extra veggies at whatever meal you're eating. So this is what we're doing today to go with our tacos. So we're gonna be using probably about 4 cups of thinly sliced kale, and I'll show you how to do that. And maybe about 2 cups of red cabbage, thinly sliced as well. And you'll cut it the same way you do the kale. And then 1 whole grated apple, preferably red because it's going to look really pretty in the salad. And then we're going to make a dressing to go on it. So I'll show you how to slice the kale. All right, so when you cut kale, the leaf has a very tough stem, and that is not very easy to chew. So we want to get rid of that. And so you can just lay the kale down flat, and you could just rip the leaf off, but or you could also just lay it flat and run your knife just to the right of that stem and then just to the left of that stem as well, to get that thick stem out, and then pull those leaves off. So we're gonna not use that. The cabbage might have a thick center as well. It just depends on if it's a more inner leaf or a more outer leaf of the head of cabbage. So if you feel that it's a little too tough, you could do a similar thing. You just find that stem and cut the leaves on either side of it so that you don't have that really meaty, tough stem. And I'll just do that on these 2 real quick. So then what we're gonna do for both the kale and the cabbage is we're gonna take our leaf and we're gonna roll it really tightly up, and then we're gonna make very thin slices all the way through. Careful not to get your fingers. And then we have these very thin little ribbons of cabbage, and we'll do the same thing with the kale. Oh, that one I hadn't cut yet, the stem out. You just roll it up nice and tight. Let me get that out of the way so you can see. And just thinly slice. It's not perfect, but this is just a quick way to slice it really thinly, and then you have these little ribbon-like pieces of your kale and your cabbage. And so this is what I'm gonna do for the rest of it, and I'll show you how to assemble it next. All right, so I finished slicing all of the kale and red cabbage and grating the apple, and I have it here in this bowl. Now we're gonna make the dressing. So for the dressing, we have some plain Greek yogurt. We're gonna do about 3 tablespoons, just in your bowl. 2, 3. And then we're gonna do teaspoon, 2, 1 or 2 teaspoons, however much you like, of Dijon mustard, and a little drizzle of honey, not much, less than a teaspoon, 1 teaspoon at most. And then I have some lemon here, and make sure I don't drop a seed. And then we're gonna mix this up and pour this over our salad and toss it, and it'll be good to go. Okay, now we are ready to assemble our tacos. You can get whatever toppings you like. You can work with that. I have here I browned some ground turkey and I seasoned it with a salt-free taco seasoning. You are welcome to use regular taco seasoning. Those typically are pretty high in sodium, so if that's something you're watching, then I would suggest making your own taco seasoning. So this seasoning just has chili powder, cumin, oregano, garlic powder, and onion powder. And let us know if you want the exact recipe in the comments below, and we can post that for sure. But here we have our taco meat, we have some toppings, and I have some corn tortillas. So this is something that you could have all prepped beforehand. You really wouldn't, for a lunch I mean, you really wouldn't be able to assemble it until you were sitting down to eat, because the tortilla might get soggy. But these are definitely things that you can have prepped and ready and even bring with you to work, and then just assemble it when you sit down for your lunch. So let's talk about how this fits in our plate. So for our plate, we like to have half the plate is vegetables, which is why we made our kale apple slaw. And we also have tomato and lettuce. So that's gonna go on our taco. So that's gonna cover our vegetable section. A quarter of our plate we want to be protein, so we have our ground turkey here. That will count for that. The cheese, if you want to have some cheese, this counts as protein as well, so that goes there. And then for our grains, we have our corn tortilla. And so technically, one corn tortilla fits in that quarter section of the plate. And then if you wanted a second taco, you could do that. That would just count for your fruit and dairy section of your plate for your second one. So we can go ahead and put it all together. And there you have it. This is a very simple taco recipe that we just made a little bit healthier by swapping out the rice and beans that are typical sides for tacos for this kale apple slaw. And now this fits the plate method, so it's a very balanced meal. If you try this recipe, please let us know in the comments below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.